I was talking to my cousin who teaches exercise classes, and she said that she got all her students' phone numbers so that if they keel over, she can call 911 for them. And I was like, Joanne, I think that's going too far. But okay. But yeah, I mean, we all see. I do have everybody's phone number. It never even occurred to me that someone would keel over. But, so dumb. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I don't think you'd want to be doing it in her classes. But I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Well, if you keel over, actually, I won't even know because some of you, I can't see the floor anyway. Anyway, I think this might be nicer for me. Just if that teaching to everybody muted was getting quiet. Yeah. All right. Let's sit. Open your chest. Interlock your fingers and reach up. So find your shoulders in the sockets and pull the shoulders back. And don't collapse. Turn to the right. Come back to center. And we'll turn to the left. Come back to center. Bring the hands behind the head. And reach up. Pull the shoulders back, not the hands so much, but the shoulders. And hold the elbow. Pull the shoulders back. And reach again. And then fold. Come back up. And change your interlock. Pull the shoulders back as you reach up. And turn to the right. Back to center, and to the left, back to center. Bring the hands behind the head. Pull the shoulders back. Reach up from there. And hold the elbows. Reach again. Hold. Come back up. Let's open the legs up with Adho Mukha Svanasana. So let's open up the shoulders when we do this. So instead of having the middle finger in the corner of the edge of the mat, you're going to bring the thumb and index finger to the top of the mat. Just to clarify that. So if this is the top of the mat, the thumb and index finger are right at the top, and the rest of the hand is spread wide. And that outward rotation of the hand needs to percolate all the way up to the shoulder. So before you go up, we'll rotate the upper arms so that they're trying to follow the fingers. And try to hold on to that as much as possible as you lift yourself up and back. Lengthen through the arms, open the backs of the knees, spread the toes. Lift the navel up towards the spine. Bring the knees down. Keep them separated a bit. Bring the big toes together. Bring the sit bones towards your heels and roll over the thighs in Balasana. Breathe. And then Adho Mukha Svanasana, same way. The upper arms pushing away from the floor. And the navel rising up also. Balasana again. This time, bring the hands back to the heels as you roll over the thighs. And then stay on the heels and extend the arms again. And one more. And now Balasana. First bring the heels to the sit bones to the heels, the hands to the heels, and roll over the thighs. And then hold on to that and extend the arms. So that in Balasana, all the weight is not going towards your head, but there's an equal action of resting on the heels. Okay, and then come up, get a chair. Let's do some Urdhva Dhanurasana. You can pat up the back of your chair. My friend Sally said, "Oh, you should take a class from this woman that she just loved." And I said, "Okay, I'll do that with you." She said she makes you turn on your video. I'm like, I'm fine with that. This woman never stopped talking, even for 3 seconds, for the whole hour and a half, and it was horrible. I'm like, that might be your cup of tea, but I couldn't take it. It was wild. I don't even know how that woman could do it. We want to make our chair seats a little bit higher. So something like a bolster on your chair seat. And if you're at all worried about your chair tipping over, you can take your sandbags and put them on the front bar to weigh the front of the chair down, because you'll be going over the other side. So if you're worried about that, this is a safety thing. I did take over the holidays, I took a 3-hour backbending workshop from this guy, David Maloney, who lives in Italy. It was New Year's Day morning. I don't know what time it was in Italy. I don't know if it was New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. I have no idea what time it was. But it was 10 o'clock New Year's morning. And I did this 3-hour workshop with him, and well, my butt got kicked, but I ended up doing some things I'd never done before. It was very exciting, and now my back is like, oh, it took a couple days, like on Sunday. It seemed fine, and on Saturday, and then today it's like, oh, it's a little tired. But here we're going to do some back bends. The hair of the dog's bitching and stuff. Make sure your feet are on the chair leg, holding them down so that your heels hold the chair down along with the sandbags. But the action of the heels holding the chair down is an action of the back bend. So it's not just a safety feature. You want the back of the legs to be working right down into the heels. And so the first thing, we're sitting up a little higher, is you're just going to let yourself roll over the back of the chair a little bit. And make sure the legs don't splay. And you can hold the skull with the elbows wide and the shoulders back, which helps the diaphragm and chest open up. And even here, before you lift up, press into the heels a little bit so that you start to feel the connection into the back body. And then you can reach down towards the seat of the chair. You don't have to hold on tight. And bring the knees forward and press up from the heels, lifting the tailbone. And it's not very far because you're sitting up higher. Just going to lift up off the chair. And if you feel secure, you can again hold the back of your head and let the diaphragm area open up. Make sure you can breathe. Make sure you're not letting the knees splay. And make sure you're pressing into the heels. And then on an exhalation, sit back down and bring the feet to the floor and sit upright. All right, so from there, we'll bring the right hand on the back of the chair and the left hand around. Don't bring the knees together, so keep them separated a bit. And lift up, especially that left side. So instead of letting the left side drop, you're going to lift the left side up as much as you can and take a turn. You can walk your right hand back, but remember, it's not the hand that needs to come back, it's the shoulder. So you want to roll that shoulder back, lift the left side up. Press into the heels and turn. And look lightly over your right shoulder. Let the head lean back a little bit. All right, and then follow that same line of the spine. And, no, I don't mean that. Bring your head back to center, but don't untwist. And from that center location, lift the chin way away from the chest, lifting the chest up, pressing into the heels, and then bring the chin towards the chest. Try that again. Pull the chin way away from the chest, lifting the chest, opening the chest. And slowly bringing the chin back to the sternum. Lift the head and bring it to center. Lift the left side of the body, take a little bit more of a twist. Look up and over your right shoulder. And then come back to center. So we'll do the same thing to the left. So the left hand comes to the back of the chair. It's the left shoulder that needs to move. And you can bring that left hand all the way to the back edge of the chair there. Your right hand comes around. And again, it's not the hand that's important, but you want the shoulder to move around. Got to lift up to turn. Press into the heels to lift up. Keep lifting the right side of the body. Look up and over your left shoulder. Try to keep the knees from clunking together or splaying. And then bring the head to center. Lift the chin away from the chest as you lift the chest towards the chin, looking upward. And then chin to the chest. Keep lifting the chest to the chin. And then up again. All the way up. Lift the chest with the chin to look upward. Keep the eyes centered. And then chin to chest and chest to chin. Lift the head back to center. Look up and over your left shoulder. Take a little bit of a deeper twist. And then undo. Let's bring the feet back to the chair legs. And lean back again. Mostly here you want to lengthen through the side ribs, and then where the chair hits you, you want to start to open that up. You can hold the back of the head, bring the shoulders back, press into the heels. Bring the head back towards the chair seat. Pull the shoulders back. Press into the heels. Push the knees forward and lift the tailbone up. Start to roll over the back of the chair. And if you're comfortable, you can hold the back of the head. Keep pressing in towards the heels. Let the diaphragm area open up. So breathe. And then find the bolster again, sit back down, bring the feet to the floor, and sit up. I'm going to turn around so I can see you, but you'll need a strap. This is a cool little trick I learned from that Italian guy that I had never seen, and I like it quite a bit. And it's subtle, but I think it's very interesting. So you make a strap loop. It'll be different for everybody. But here, I'm gonna do it like this, and then you can decide how far you need it to be. So how you use the loop, to bring your arms to Urdhva Hastasana is you're going to take your right hand and you're going to put it through the loop like that. And then your left hand is going to go in like this. So they went in from different sides. And then you bring the hands towards each other so that the belt crosses. And the belt's near your wrist somewhere. Because then this is what is going to determine how wide your belt is. Then you take your interlock, and so my belt's too wide, because when I do this, the strap went loose. So I'm going to undo it, and I'm going to make it a little tighter. The right hand goes through from your side, and the left hand goes through from the other side. And then you interlock your fingers. And you want to be able to press your thumbs together, and making the strap tight. So again, I'm going to make mine a little bit tighter. So the right hand again goes through this way, and the left hand goes through the other way. And now it's perfect for me. I can press my thumbs together, and the strap is tight. So go ahead and lift the arms overhead. And pull the shoulders into the sockets. And lift up. Try to press the thumbs into each other. And then undo. You need to make a different arrangement with the strap. Go ahead and do it. Just going to make mine a little tighter. So all you have to remember about this is that with the loop, one hand goes in one way, and the other hand goes in the other way, and then palms face each other, and the strap will cross, and then you interlock your fingers, and the strap just basically starts to hold the forearms towards each other a little bit. So it might be that getting your thumbs together isn't going to work, but it might. And then reach up and pull the shoulders back. Press the heels to the floor. See if you can't lengthen the arm. Drag the navel in. Pull the shoulders back. And then undo. So what that does, I think, is it helps the shoulders come into the sockets in a better way than if you just put the hands in the same way. So here, I don't feel my shoulders in my sockets. It's holding my arms together. But when I do this and cross it, and then interlock my fingers, and try to keep my thumbs pressing each other, I can start to feel my shoulder sockets. So go ahead, lift the arms again. And then lift the chest, and lift the navel towards the spine, and then up to the ceiling. And then release. So let's do Urdhva Dhanurasana on the chair again. And if you feel like you'd like to hit a little bit of a different spot in your back, you could put a blanket on top of your bolster and make the bolster just a little bit higher. So back bends are like exploring the unknown, you know, the back body that you can't see, and they're scary for me, but they do give you a sense of satisfaction when you do them, because I think what they do is they teach you how to prepare for anything. And that's what I said on my Facebook post, because I talked about it a little bit. And the back bends really do help you prepare for anything. That's my words. But this is the one thing I stopped and wrote down that David Maloney guy said, when I read it now, it doesn't seem that interesting. But at the time, it seemed extremely relevant. And he said, you want to use the support of the props that you use, not just in back bends, but anytime. You want to use the support to make the actions accessible to you. And so you don't want to, and we know this, you don't want to just lay on the props. You want to use them to make the actions that are needed for making the shape accessible. And so if you think about the props that way, it's a little bit different, a little bit of different words. I thought it was interesting, and I wrote it down, and I still think it's interesting. So it's, instead of just collapsing onto the chair, that's the idea of surfing on it, which we've done a lot, that you want to be surfing on it, and rather than going to sleep on it. So press the heels into the chair leg and lean back. Lean back and lengthen through the diaphragm. Don't let the legs splay or knock together. Press into the heels, hold the back of the head. Let the shoulders come back. So when the elbows come back and the elbows go wide, that does facilitate the shoulders coming back. But what facilitates the shoulders coming back even more is thinking about the shoulders coming back into the back of the socket. Pressing the heels, letting the diaphragm area lengthen, letting the chest open and lift. And then you don't have far to go. You press into the heels and lift the tailbone up and roll over the back of the chair. And you really didn't have far to go, so go a little farther, lift up higher, roll a little more. You've got a hold of the head. And now let the chin come away from the chest. You're supporting the head. Let the chin pull away as the chest lifts towards the chin. And then sit back down and sit up, bring the feet to the floor. And let's do one more set of twists. So now we're sitting up pretty high, which is nice because it allows you to keep the length that you made rather than collapsing back down into it. And so you'll bring that right shoulder around, and you'll bring the left shoulder around, and you'll press into the heels. Now you want to make that same kind of length that you did when you were going over the back of the chair. The very top of the chest, where the chair was and up, turns into a little bit of a back bend. But what you don't want to do is lean the whole body back. You want to let that back bend come from the top of the chest, lifting the chest up high. Pressing into the heels, lifting up, and looking lightly over the right shoulder. Try not to lean from the navel. You want to, the navel is back and up. You're going to lean from the shoulder blades. And then bring the head back to center. And follow the spine and lift chest and chin as much as you can. And then lift the chin to the chest and the chest to the chin, bringing the head down. Pressing into the heels, pull the chin away from the chest, pull the chest with it. And then Jalandhara Bandha, chest to the chin, chin to the chest. Bring the head up, back up to center. Bring the chin up and over your right shoulder, twist a little deeper. And then come back to center. We'll bring that left shoulder around. Going to bring the right shoulder around. Going to bring the navel back and up. I'm going to sit tall. So you're going to lengthen through the diaphragm. Bring the chin up and over your left shoulder. Turn towards the left. The more you turn, the more you got to move your shoulders. Bring the head to center. Lift the chest. Pull the chin away from the chest as it lifts. Looking way up. And then Jalandhara Bandha, the chin to the chest and the chest to the chin. Let the back of the neck lengthen. One more time, lifting away. Lifting and pulling away from the chest. Press into the heels. And then Jalandhara Bandha, chin to the chest, chest to the chin. Do it even more. Lift the head to the center. Twist a little deeper. Look up and over your left shoulder. And then back to the center. You'll need your chair, a couple of bricks, and a bolster-like thing. And you don't need to stand back on your chair. Oh, and then that strap. You might have seen, if you're on Facebook, you might have seen that picture I posted of me doing this. And it's fun to do. I gotta look to see. I can't remember how to set that up. Hold on. I gotta look. I can't remember. My mind went blank. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. You're going to turn the bolster this way. That's what I couldn't remember. And you're going to bring that left leg through the chair. And you need that strap. But just put the strap down for the moment. And your left foot goes on the bricks. And how high you sit, you kind of want your thigh to be somewhat parallel to the floor, because the right leg's going to come back. And you know, if you have a wall to press on, that's pretty nice to put your heel on. It's nice to have that if you have a wall to use. And here I can move forward. I can use my pole. And if you don't have a wall, you'll just have to pretend that you have a wall. And if your bricks are slidey, you should put a sticky mat between them so they don't slide. You can, if it's not too high, for certainly. Get through because you have a studio chair. Okay. Make the bolster lower so you can get your leg through. So here, I'm not going to turn my foot out. And so my foot's just going to be straight up and down. But if you have a wall, you can put that heel. So your foot's going to face forward rather than slightly out like it would normally. And your heel, if it has something to press on, is going to press into that wall. So here's why it's nice to have the wall if you can use one, because this back leg, it tends not to really straighten, but if you use the wall, pressing the heel into the wall, you can really get that back leg to straighten. So you want to press the heel into the wall, and remember, we're not turning the foot out at all. It's just straight forward. So the heels are kind of lined up with each other. You don't have to balance, because you're sitting on the chair seat, so it doesn't matter that much. And so, Tyra, if you're sitting down lower, you may not need 2 bricks under your foot, because you'd like this left leg to be kind of parallel to the floor. Okay, that's great. All right, and so then it's the front of the thigh that needs to lean into the back edge of the chair or your bolster or your blanket, so that the front of the thigh is leaning on the blanket or the chair. And then your hands, then you press into the heel. You'd like, if you can, to have the heel below your knee. You're going to press into both heels, and as you do that, you're going to let this hip come around. So you want not the inner thigh, but the front of the thigh facing whatever it is that your left leg's sitting on, the bolster or the blanket. And then you can just lean forward a bit here and press your heels. And as you press the heels, let that right leg lengthen. And then you can hold on to the back of your chair, and you don't want to just push your chest back, but instead you want to lengthen like you were when you were coming over the back of the chair in Urdhva Dhanurasana. You want to lift yourself up. You want to make yourself long. So you're trying two things that you're trying to do. One is not to be leaning forward, but as you stand upright, you have to lengthen both the front and back body, pulling the shoulders back. So you can push yourself away from the chair, but that's not the main action. The main action is lifting and lengthening through the diaphragm. Pressing into the heels. All right, and then undo. And we'll switch sides. So the main thing that you want to get from the back bends that we're doing today is that you want to think that you're lengthening rather than leaning from the lumbar spine. So now the right leg's through the chair, and your left leg's, if you can, that left heel is pressing something. And as it does, it lengthens. And when it lengthens, you have to lean forward to let it do it, because you want that leg to lengthen as much as you can. Pressing into the wall to do that. So from here, again, to lift up, you have to keep pressing through the heels, but instead of just pushing yourself away, you have to make length through the diaphragm and the back of the diaphragm. You got to lift up to sit to stand up. Keep lengthening through that back leg. Keep lifting up. Lean forward again. If the spirit moves you, but you have to let the spirit move you, because if you just decide you're going to look up, it might be, that would be coming from the brain. But if all of a sudden you're so lifted up and so standing up and you don't feel any crunching and the chest just keeps lifting and lifting, then I would say that would be the spirit moving you to look up. But if you're not quite there, don't look up from here. The spirit isn't telling you to look up until you're really lengthened upward. All right, so let the spirit move you if you decide that you're going to look upward. Let's switch. Kathy, it was nice to see Ben the other day. Yeah. Yeah, well, they're gone. They left yesterday, and it was a sad day for me. I'm still thinking, like, I got very used to having them. I'm still thinking, I wonder if they're going to come over for dinner tonight. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Not tonight. What? The left leg's through the chair. Oh, they moved. They don't live anywhere. They're about as homeless as you get. Right now they're in the Hudson Valley. They rented a big house, and they're doing all these quarantining things, and every week they're having a different couple come and visit. Carmel, something Carmel. Oh, really? It's pretty big. Yeah. Yeah. So make sure again that the front of your thigh is, and not the inner thigh, is facing towards the floor. And now again, you're not pushing yourself back, you're lifting yourself up. So you have to press into both heels, and you'll feel yourself get light, like you just start to float up. And if you get up so much that the spirit moves you to look up, then go right ahead. And it's a lot like those twists we were doing, looking up, making the chest open up. All right, and then undo. We'll switch. So first, go ahead and find the heels and lengthen the leg. And if you have your back heel on something to press on, you can see that it can really get deeper and deeper. And you can still do that without the wall, but it's just a little helpful. It helps you find the action. So here we're going to lift up, making the diaphragm area and the back diaphragm longer and longer, and that back leg straighter and straighter. And then if the spirit does move you, then you can, that looking up action has to emanate from the lengthening through the diaphragm and the lifting of the chest. All right, and then come forward. So let's take a little twist here, and then we'll switch and do it on the other side. So your left hand's going to be here on the chair back, and you're going to lift up and bring the right shoulder back. Keep lengthening through that left heel, and keep the chin in line with your chest. You can lean forward towards the chair back. You could even let your armpit rest on it. You can hold your shin somehow. All right, now again, you got to lift up. So your navel, which is down here, you want to lift it way up here and pull that shoulder back. All right, so now, let the spirit move you and pull the chin way away from the chest. Take a little back bend action there through the spine. And then undo. And we'll switch. We'll just do the twist. I was gonna get dressed up for New Year's Eve just for the heck of it, but I forgot. Because we were out having a little fire, and so I'm wearing a dress today. Happy New Year. You know, it is a Happy New Year. I don't think anybody's ever been so happy to see a new year, but oddly, it seems just like the old one. Roll that leg around. All right, so now We're going to lean forward here. And the right arm's on the back of the chair. You're going to bring that left shoulder up and around. And then you can rest your armpit on the back of the chair to hold your shin or your ankle. Press that back heel. Lift up from the navel and turn. And then let the spirit move you and pull the chin away from the chest and let the chest come along. And then come back to center. All right, let's switch and we'll use the strap this time. Which leg is going through? The left one? The right one? The left? Okay. Left leg through. See, it's nice having everybody's mics on. I like it better. It feels to me more natural than having everybody muted. That right leg's back. All right, so we're going to put that strap on the same way we were doing earlier. So one hand goes through this way and the other hand goes through this way, and then it crosses. So get yourself set up so that that hip has turned forward and the heels are pressing. And interlock your fingers and try to press the thumbs together. And then don't just lift up, but lengthen upward. Pulling the shoulders back, lengthening that back leg. And if the spirit moves you, you can slowly start to look up. And then undo. All right, so we're going to do that one more time. Right here on this leg. So the very last thing that you want to do is pull the shoulders back. So you're here and you've lifted up, and now you want to lengthen more and more, and now you're going to just lean those shoulders back, even if they go back just slightly. All right, so one more time on this side. I hope Kit didn't collapse, because I don't see her anymore. She must have gone to the bathroom or something. I think I'll call 911. All right. Interlock your fingers. Invert your palms. And then press your thumbs together. And then lift up. Lengthen into that back heel. If the spirit moves you, you can look up, and then you're just going to lean those shoulders back a bit. Lengthen through the arms more. And then undo. All right, while we're here, we're going to take another twist. So we're going to twist towards the left. You're going to bring the right armpit onto the chair Your left hand on your shoulder, and you're going to lift up from the navel and turn, pressing into both heels. And then undo. All right, we got one more side. So your right leg's through. I need my strap. You need your strap. Press into both heels. Bring that left hip around so it's facing forward. You okay, Kit? Okay. I don't need to call 911. All right, so press into your heels. Put that strap on. Let it cross. Interlock your fingers. And then after you invert the palms, press the thumbs. And then lift up, lengthening. And then let that shoulder girdle lean back a bit. Lengthen the arms. Press into the heels. Release. Bring your left armpit over the chair top. Hold something here. And instead of just turning, you got to lift up from the navel, up towards the ceiling to turn. And then pull the chin up, away from the chest, and keep lifting the chest. And then undo. So we're going to go back to the Urdhva Dhanurasana. We'll do a few of those, but without the bolster. But if you want to put the sandbag on the front bar of your chair, for safety's sake, go right ahead. Oh, and you can pat up the back of the chair again. I broke my COVID rule. And I had Sam, she trimmed my hair. She took not even an inch off. I swept up the hair. It was nothing. And my hair is so much shorter than it was. It's amazing. Like, my hair was like down to here before. And she literally took hardly anything off. And it's so much shorter, but it feels so much better. I didn't totally break my rule because I didn't go to the hair salon. I just had her do it. But I just thought she was going to go like that, but no. First, she spent a half an hour watching YouTube tutorials on how to cut long hair. And she did a really nice job, but I couldn't believe how much shorter it feels. All right, so now we're going to pull our shoulders behind the back of the chair. And we're going to reach down towards the seat of the chair. And now we're not just going to open the chest up, but we're going to lengthen through the diaphragm. Take some breaths and see how nice that feels. Then interlock your hands and bring them behind your head. We're not sitting on a bolster now, Kit. Yeah. I'm going to let Kit, but do pat up the back of your chair. And so as you lean back, let the chin come away from the chest if the spirit moves you. All right, and we're not going to hold on while we do this. We're going to press into the heel and lift up, way up from the tailbone, not from the quads, from the hamstrings, not from the quads, from the glutes, not from the quads, and let the shoulders roll back and down. Make sure you can breathe. And then sit down. Bring the feet to the floor and sit up. What'd you do, stub your toe or something, Kit? From putting your heel into the wall or not a wall? Oh, on the stool. Gotcha. I saw you were gone and I was like, I better call 911. All right, we're going to try that one more time. Feet on the chair. So now, before we lift up, you get that idea that you have to lengthen. That's what you want to feel like. Not so much like you're trying to do a back bend. The back bend will come, but just that you want to lengthen. You want that diaphragm area, front and back and middle and sides, to get long. And if you don't feel comfortable lifting up with holding the head, you can bring the hands down and lift up and then rearrange. Don't let the knees splay. Press into the heels. Lengthen through the diaphragm area. I like the idea of letting the spirit move you in a back bend so that you're not moving from your brain at all. Your brain might tell you that, oh, in a back bend this has to happen, or a back bend that has to happen. But really what you want to do is let the body tell you what needs to happen. Press into the heels, move the knees forward, lift up from the tailbone, the glutes, and the hamstring. Keep lifting up even as you roll over. You want to bring the shoulders into the back of the socket and let them come down towards the floor. Lengthen through the diaphragm, press into the heels. And then sit back down and sit up. And let's get our bolster again. And Tyra, this time we're not going to put our legs through the chair. So you can use something higher. Same way, we'll put the bolster crosswise. And you can have your bricks or a stool for your feet. Your foot. Take off your sandbags because you got to turn the chair around. Yeah. We're going to turn the chair the other way. So the back of the chair is facing your camera or your front, whatever that is. And here, this is for Parsvakonasana. The left leg, the left foot's going to be up on your bricks. The heel somewhat below the knee. And you should be up high enough that their thigh bone is kind of parallel to the floor. The knee could be somewhat higher, like mine is just a little bit higher. That's fine, but not a lot. And the right leg's out, and it's going to stand up, and so that you're in a lateral pose rather than a forward-facing pose. I'm just waiting for Heidi, but while we're waiting, you're going to remind your left leg that here, if you press into the left little toe, it'll help you bring the left thigh more parallel to the front and back wall. So instead of leaning towards the arch of your foot, you're going to roll into the little toe side of your foot. You still want to keep the whole foot planted, but instead of just pushing the knee back, see if you can't bring the weight into the little toe side of the foot, and that's actually you'll feel that move from the hip to bring the leg more in line. Can you feel that? So let's try it again. So you just let go, lengthen the right leg, make sure it's facing forward, and then bring your weight into the little toe side of your foot. You should feel that in the hip, and it should help bring the left leg more parallel to the front and back wall. And then to help with that, you can bring your left arm or your left shoulder in front of the leg, and still that's going to help you find the little toe side of your foot, and let that left thigh come into alignment, and then you're going to reach into that right leg, and then your right arm can help you. You don't want to push yourself away from the back of the chair, but you want the right arm to help you lengthen up the spine as you turn the abdomen and chest forward. And then bring the chin to center and pull the chin way away from the chest, but let the chest chase after it. And then bring the chin towards the sternum, and the sternum towards the chin. And then chin away from the sternum and the sternum chasing after it. Keep rolling the abdomen and chest open. And then find your foot again, your left foot, and put some more weight in that little toe side of the foot, even though your big toe needs to press. And then undo. And I found that we spend so much time pressing the big toe down that the little toe side of the foot doesn't have any intelligence at all. But when it works for you, it actually brings the action right into the hip. So let's do the other side. Just move your bricks. I did spend some time over my break checking out other people's Zoom classes, and I found that most of them, the teachers were moving so fast that even I couldn't keep up. Like, I was trying to set up my props and they were already on something different, and it was extremely frustrating, and I don't know why they were doing that, because it doesn't make any sense. People need, if you've got a bunch of props that people need to set up, you need to give them time to set them up. You can't just have yours set up and keep on going. And I found that was a thing that almost all the teachers did, which I really didn't like. Yeah, they're like big name Iyengar teachers, and I think they just don't have any patience. Which is wild, yeah. And I guess if you're teaching a workshop, it's different than when you're teaching, if you're teaching weekly classes. But I was hopping in on some weekly classes just to see, and it was the same thing. And it was not enjoyable for me at all. I didn't get a lot out of it because I just like, slow down, lady, slow down, man. But I was muted, so nobody heard me. So you got to reach into that left leg. And right here you want to roll towards, even as you keep the big toe planted, you need to roll towards the little toe side of your foot. And you want to feel how that changes your connection to the hip socket. If you think I spout out a lot of directions, I don't, compared to these people who just like, and I couldn't even follow it. I just like, it was just gibberish to me after a while. It's just like, shut up. You probably think that about me too. Why doesn't she shut up? But it's nothing like what these people were doing. So roll into the little toe side of that right foot and feel that right leg come more into alignment. Reach into the left leg, and then you can help that right leg and hip by bringing something from that right arm forward of the leg to help. You'll see as soon as you do that, the little toe side of the foot can press a little bit better. And then you want to roll open, even as you press down, roll open. Do a little bit of that upper back bend. Keep your head in line with your spine. And bring the chin to the chest to the chin. And then pull away. And let the chest chase after the chin. Lengthen through that left leg. Find that little toe side of the right foot. Breathe. and then undo. So we started a little late. We would normally end around now or somewhere, but we're going to go till probably about 5:25 or 5:30. I want to do one more thing before Savasana. Yeah, let's sit in Upavista Konasana. You can sit as high or low as you want with the legs wide. I have one more episode of The Queen's Gambit to finish on Netflix. Has anybody watched it? Unbelievable. I have to do the last one. That story. I'm tempted to read the book. Have you read it? Oh, you did? Good. Yeah, I'm liking it. Yeah. The little girl, the little 9-year-old girl was incredible. Well, it's not a true story. I looked it up. It's you know, a lot of the characters are real people, but the story itself is fiction. But it seemed real enough. Yeah. I've never been able to. I love the way their brains can see so far into the future. I can't do that. So you might want your bricks, because when you come forward here, you want to, even though you're coming forward, you want your pelvis to be going backwards, and bricks might help you with that. So, let's see this. As you come forward, you don't want this part of your low back to come with you. So you can walk forward a little bit with your arms, and then push back into the low back, and then lengthen some more, and then push back, and then lengthen some more. And so the bricks help for a lot of reasons. They help keep your upper arms up high, which is what you want to do. So eventually what you'd like is your arms to be this high and your chest to start to descend towards the floor, your chest and chin, without bringing the sacrum along, so that the sacrum rolls down towards the floor. So let's do that. So as far as you can go forward, that's when you can go, okay, I'm going to stop here. I'm not coming forward anymore, but I can possibly keep the shoulders back, which is up right now, with the upper arms, and let the chest start to drop towards the floor. And don't let the head drop further than the chest. And press the thighs down. And see if you can find your little toe, and reach out into your little toe and see if that helps you find the hip sockets a little bit better. And now you can come up and set up for Savasana. Make sure you cover your eyes. Put some weights on if you have them. And make sure the spine is lifted up at least on one blanket, if not two. The spine is going to be up on at least one, if not two blankets folded like this. When you lie down, the buttocks is on the mat in front of that blanket, and then the spine right above the lumbar spine, right above the sacral spine, is lying on your blanket. And your head can be a little bit higher on another, your head and neck can be supported with another blanket. But so the buttock is a little lower, the spine is elevated, and the head's a little more elevated. And that's pretty much how we've been doing Savasana during COVID, because it supports the nervous system better than the floor for most of us, and keeps the heart elevated, and then weights on the thighs, and then we're covering the eyes because it's helpful anyway, but because of the monitors to help quiet the brain. And after you've been there for a bit, start to allow the breath to slow down and deepen. Smooth inhales and smooth exhales. And if your back is tired, there's nothing wrong with supporting the upper thighs with a bolster or some blankets. Or even, if you want, just bring the feet flat to the floor in Savasana if you want. everybody will join me in Sukhasana. Make sure you roll to the right side when you get up. It's the yoga way. It's better for your heart. Open the chest, open the heart, open the lungs. Namaste. Well, I hope that elevates your mood a little bit. The back bends are nice that way. And they have long-lasting, I think they have long-lasting things that happen with them. You hopefully will be able to feel the practice tomorrow in a good way. Well, she Shar does her headstand and shoulder stand after class, and then she does Savasana. So if she leaves and does that, at least that's what she told me she's doing. And I'm sure she is. I'm sure she is. Yeah, that's super cute. Does it hang on the tree? Yeah. Who was the part? Who was the party house? I'm hoping that'll happen. Yeah. It's nice. I saw that Lizzie got her vaccination. Yeah. Yeah, because I have 121,000 people ahead of me in Washington County. The New York Times had a thing that you answered questions and you found out there was like an astronomical amount of people in the country ahead of me. But somewhere, I'm not sure where, down south, all these older people were standing in line for their vaccination, and they sent them home because the healthcare workers gave the vaccines to their friends. Oh my God. I don't know. It was like Florida. That's what everybody says. It was probably Florida or Georgia or something. I don't know what. Alabama. I don't know. It's hard to believe. Did you guys listen to the phone call from the president? That's all I did. I read it and I couldn't read the whole thing. Yeah. You know, that's the question. Cause like, you know, if I went and turned right on red when you couldn't, I'd have a ticket. I'd probably end up in jail. And he has done so many things and no repercussions. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. See you guys. All right.